kid. What's up? You look good, man. Still smells like piss in here. Brought you this. Now here. He came from the heart of the windy streets where steel meets sparks and passion heats. Built amps that roared, clean and tight, made for those who talk through the night. Now he's down in South Jersey haze. That ugly truck still pulls its weight. Rusted rumble, stolen scars, chasing skip beneath.
What's happening, everybody? I'll be up in here in a minute. No, I'm not going to the hog yard, brother. Staying here. I'm staying in Jersey.
He got his amp running lane and mean. As the signal reaches coast to coast, his amp builds are better than most. He's got zero reflect. No fancy shop, just his iron and fire. Dreams wired up with quiet desire. Each amp a beast, a story told by hands that build, not hands that fold. Jersey roads are chanting me, but that truck still holds the dream. In the back, a box that glows. 1, 2, 3's the name that knows. Big bird watch they scream and fly. Never a dosimeter. Straight through storms and skip shooting sky. And built to last, they never die. He ain't
Alright.
dirty, but he lives neat and clean. Zipping soul.
So what's happening? What's happening? It's Friday night. A little 2x8 we're going to take and do a demonstration on. What's going on, Eddie? Let's see here. Alrighty, guys. So here you go. This is a standard box for me. This is a South Jersey line. This unit is a 2-drive and 8 with two 2290s installed as the driver. Also, I can do these with the 1446s as well. They're both really super good pills. A lot of guys have been using the 2290s. I think the next couple I'd like to take and use the 1446s and let you guys kind of see how those run as well. So with that said, it's pretty standard business what I have going on here inside. Got two 120 millimeter 106 CFM fans. It really pumps some air through this unit. Yes, they make noise, so don't sit right on top of your equipment. I hear guys say, "Man, the fans are really noisy." Don't sit right next to them. Get away from them. The best advice I can give you, because if you can't push air, you're not going to keep the unit cool. So you definitely don't want to overheat the unit. Let's see here. All right. So that said, I have two 2290s driving, this with attenuation, which has potentiometer right here. So you can turn the unit up and down a bit. If you don't want to run it full power, full output power will show as you back the potentiometer down. The amplifier will slow down. You know, a lot of guys use these for drivers. They like them. A lot of AC guys like these for drivers for 3000s. And they'll get you where you need to be, I guess, if you're going to use them for a driver. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this test tonight on 14.8 volts, and I will step it up just to show the guys that are running a little bit more elevated voltage that the box will be fine. So the back end of this thing is built up pretty good. I have 3 6-gauge power wires coming out the back end of this unit, and then a 3/8 stud bolt ground for this unit. So with that said, the ground should be directly bolted to A and B, frame and or battery, or both. All right, so you definitely want to keep ground. If you lose ground, you're going to lose your system, because this is your working ground right here. This is a functioning amperage ground. This one works really hard for you. Now, your amplifier also conducts ground through what? Your coax. So if you lose ground here on your working ground, or most of it, or just have a poor connection, where does that put the extra weight? Right here on your coaxial grounds. And these are not designed to take and do what a working ground does. So big difference, apples to apples right there, oranges to oranges, apples to oranges. So you definitely don't want to lose ground. So make sure you guys, when you install your stuff, that you achieve very good ground. Now with that said, I said the word install, and I want you to take a look, and I'm going to zoom this in here. You'll see this dielectric grease here, this ox guard. You see that? All right, painted it on with a paintbrush and tightened the bolt up, and it squeezed out a bit. It's on everything that's inside this amplifier. All of the ground ports, where everything makes ground, it has that juice on there. Why do I take and spend that extra little bit of time to do that? For it won't corrode. And I really think if I'm taking the time to do it inside your amplifier, I think it's very, very important to take and do this to your station, base station and mobile. So clean your metals up, get some good ox guard, and protect your grounds, because they start corroding, they start losing conductivity, and then you'll have no ground, weak ground. And that's when you start saying, man, my station was working great, and all of a sudden my fans are slowing down, they're stopping, you can hear me talking through them, my SWR went a little squirrely, I burnt up something, I burnt up my driver. Weird things happen when you lose ground. So that is the first and foremost that you guys should really take care of, is ground. All of this works off of ground. So just keep that in mind. Base stations included. It all works off of grounding. So you lose ground, you have no power coming out. It's going to be all up in smoke. So that's it. Let's take and light this thing up. Take and throw the skin on this thing. Turn this on. We'll turn on a few things here. I'm going to turn on the power supplies. Alright, I'm just turning on the other one too while I'm here, because I'm going to jump voltage. Alrighty. Turn everything on. I left that one on earlier again. Alrighty. Good evening, Russell. How are you? Alright guys, so here we go. Regular business in the back end of this thing. So we're going to look at these two slugs. We're going to look at a 25 watt input reflection slug and a 25 watt slug, my radio driving into this unit. So actually the performance of my input reflection, what we're going to see here, is going to happen between this amplifier and this here radio. Alright, it has nothing to do with the driver, because there's not a driver in line. It's all built in. So now we're going to be just monitoring my input reflection from this amplifier communications to the radio. Now with that said, I'm running a half a wavelength of coax from this radio down into the input of this amp, and then another half a wavelength out, and it obviously goes through all my line sections and off to my dummy load. It's all tuned. So everything's stub tuned here on the bench, and she's right and tight. So let's take and light this up. Let's see where I'm at. I'm at 14.8 volts or so. And let's give it a key. Let's see. I'm going to run this all the way back first. Let's take and back things down. Let's see what we're going to do here. Now, you're going to see as I raise the radio up, it'll fill the RMS, but the peak will end up stabilizing and being about the same. So we're going to run the radio pretty soft. This is just a bypass through. Here's the radio. 25 watt slug. Each line is 5 watts. Half a watt. I take that back at top scale. Audio, 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 audio. So I'm going right about 8 watts or so, 8.5 into this unit here. So that said, the carrier sort maybe. I got nothing. I gotta give a lot of carrier to get some. All right. Here we go. All right, so 2,500 watt slug, 5,000 at beat on digital, and 2,500 and a 5,000 on the analog. So here's 2,500 analog, and this is with the unit back all the way down. Audio, 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 audio. That's 2,500 watt slug. So I'm doing like right about 400 watts or so. All right, audio, 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 audio. 450 is showing me. See what it says on the digital. Audio, audio, audio. 450 watts. Put the potentiometer turned all the way down. That's really just letting that thing just keep on riding. Alright. Now here's your peaker tweaker real quick. Now this is all the way down. I'm still doing 1,650 watts peak. So if a guy's gonna be running around and preaching how badass their amplifiers are, show more than peak numbers. I'll explain later in this video. But that said, the peak number is very, very important. It surely is. But with that said, this potentiometer is turned all the way down. It's clocked all the way down. So my peak numbers are still filling up. Peaker, tweaker, tweaker, tweaker. 16, 1650. But my RMS is suffering severely. Why? Because I have the amplifier really attenuated. Audio, 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 audio. So 450, 500 watts on a 2 driving 8 RMS at 14 point whatever have you volts and amperage right here. Audio, 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 audio. 68, 67 amps at 14.8. Audio, audio, audio. So, this is real quick math. Just got to refer back to a 5 transistor. Does about the same amount of power, same amount of amperage right there. Audio, 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 audio. 450 watts. I could say that's a doable out of 5 transistors. But we have actually 10 running right now. Cool. Alright. It's all running. It's running good. Now, if I take and I turn this up, go up by halfway, how much do you think my peak is actually going to increase? No, my dead key did a little bit. I'm going to back that down now. Alright, so, let's see. My radio's still the same. Audio, 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 audio. That's still the same, about 8. Input reflection. Audio communication, audio, audio. Right under half a watt. Now, here's the RMS. We're doing like 450 before. See where we're at. Audio, 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 audio. Now I pushed up to about 6. So the attenuation as I opened it up allowed a little bit more RMS to flow through. Audio, 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 650 now. So we picked up a couple hundred. Did we pick up a couple hundred on peaker, tweaker, tweaker, tweaker? 1750. Yep, about 100 watts. So as we know that knob and how it works. Now, if you didn't, you do now. But as you turn this open, now you can make full power out of the radio, or whatever the radio is putting out, 8.5 watts or so. But now you have to control your carrier. So, let's see if the radio changed any. Audio, 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 audio. No, about the same. Input reflection, is that about the same? Audio, 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 audio. It went up a little bit. Went up to 1. Here is 2,500 watt slug. Each line is 50. Audio, 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 audio. So we're hanging out right around 950 RMS. Let's take a look here. Audio, 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 audio. Alright, true enough. There's your peaker tweaker number. Peaker tweaker. Tweaker, tweaker, peaker, audio, audio. Wow, we picked up another 100 watts. Alright, so as you can see, everything kind of proportioned, including this. But let's take a look at carrier real quick. Where do you run your amplifier at? Alright. Let's just say, don't care about carrier right now, we'll just put it down, right? Now I'm going to say audio, and wherever it ends, that tells me that's the maximum power or what I can do, right? Audio, audio. So that's hanging out right at 900 watts. So I'm going to say I want to set a carrier right about 400, 450. There we go. All right. Audio, audio. Same swing, right? Tweaker, tweaker. Tweaker, tweaker. Okay? See what RMS does. Audio, audio, audio. 1, 2. 8850. 900. Alright. So, that is carrier. Or 450, right? Let's see what the radio's actually dead key. A little over 1.5 watts. So, safe to say, you guys don't have a radio where you can take in, bring your dead key up and down, a variable potentiometer or a variable dead key. That knob, this particular knob right here, only controls one thing on this radio: how much carrier you're dumping by turning this up or down into the drive stage of this amplifier. Now, if you have too much, let's take a look at that. Let me set a carrier right quick. Alright, let's take a look. I'm slowing down for you guys so you can just kind of understand this dead key thing. Alright. So right now I got a 2-watt carrier. So if I use 2 watts as a carrier, now watch, I'm going to shut my modulation on. 2 watts. 2500 watt scale. Each line's 50. 2 watts puts me at like 550 RMS. Let's see what it looks here. About 7 on that one. Let's take a look at this. 2500. Alright, there's 5 1/4. 5 1/4. Now that's it. Working now. See, if I shut the amp off, see now look, I'm using energy for a carrier. Plus I'm losing a little energy because of what? My neighbor over here. My neighbor's sucking my electricity out of my drive. That's called input reflection. Alright? Now here's straight out. That's bypass going straight on across. Alright, there's nothing getting sucked out of this right now. No energy. Passing right through. I have a 2-watt carrier going into this. But it's not a perfect world. We're going to have input reflection. Now if you have input reflection, that adds up. It takes away from what you're dumping into it. Alright? So, that said, overall, my carrier level is here. 550 watts. Now, I'm going to put modulation on this and modulate. Audio, 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 audio. Cool. You could back the carrier down a bit. I should say run about half or a little less than half as far as your carrier level goes in average or RMS mode. Then just let it eat, let it swing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then here's your really peaker tweaker favorite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, 1700. Cool. That amp is working exactly like it should be working in the proportions that I'm feeding. Now, we're going to take and change my input voltage now to my radio. Now we're going to step the performance up of my radio, and we're going to get to how far can you go into a 2290 before you start stressing them out and just making heat. Now this is where a great technician is awesome. They can make good power, great power out of these radios. Single final radios make incredible amount of power, but sometimes it's almost too much. So if you have one of these radios that are really super tuned and they really put out a lot, like over 29 or a unit N or what have you, a single final, you can always control, you can always opt to control your voltage to control the outcome of that radio. And so I've been doing this for a lot of years, and I've controlled my voltages on my radio. Before I change that, we're going to get a baseline real quick. We're going to pay attention to the digital. All right, so we're going to look at the RMS right quick. Audio, 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 audio. All right, so 825 is the highest we've seen there. Let's look at the peak. Tweaker, 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 tweaker. 17, 1675, 17. Now, this is wide open. Now I'm going to just increase my radio. Oh wait, before I do that, let's take and get another bass line. Right here. Audio, audio, audio. So it's showing me almost 7.5 there. All right, now let's crank this open. Turn her up to where it was actually tuned. 14.2. All right. Now what's first thing is going to happen is my carrier is going to be way too much. Watch this. Woo, see you later. Yeah, I keyed real quick. Alright, there we go. So we got our carrier back under control. Now, let's take another peek at this being off. Radio. Audio, audio. Wow, look at that. It just jumped up to 11 watts. You think I'm going to lose a little bit? Audio, audio. Sure did. Alright, yeah, bypass. No, it's actually running. Alright, so we focused on this. Let's go back to the RMS. We're doing 1675, 1700, flickering, doodling, daddly, whatever. Audio, audio, audio. Now we're making 875 to 900 there. Now we'll have to our peaker tweaker. Audio, audio, audio. Absolutely nothing. Stayed the same. In fact, did it go down a little? I'll try hard here. Audio, 1, 2, 1, 2, audio, 1, 2, 1, 2. Nope, she's fine. Alright, so, safe to say, you have a radio putting out this. Audio, 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 9, 10, 10.5 bird. You'll be okay. I don't see any problems there. Now, I'm going to make some more, see, because we're filling up our RMS at this point. Audio, 1,000 watts. So if I turn this up any more, am I going to make any of that little bit of power? Is it going to make any difference? I think that's the bigger question. Is it going to make any difference if I'm going to make any more power? All right, here's filling it up here. Audio, audio. Not much. I think she's out of gas. Audio, audio. 925, 950. Peaker, peaker, tweaker, 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 tweaker. I think it went down a little bit. So, if I roll this back, hey there, is that be good? Go right to the peak. Peaker, tweaker, audio, 1, 2, 1, 2, audio. Seems like I did a little bit more power with a little bit less drive. Audio, 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 audio. So listen, if you have a 10 watt bird radio RMS average power 10 watts, you're going to be okay with this. That's the whole point of this, because I was hanging out right around 9, 9.5. I hit 10. Just kind of slowed down a little bit. All right, now, the only other way, at this point, the only other way we can make more power is by doing what? Change the voltage. So let's change voltage. Now we're going to be up 3/4 of a volt more. All right, we got 3/4 of a volt. So simply by increasing that voltage without changing nothing, we're going to go right into it. Let's look at RMS. Audio, 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 950. Let's see the peak. Peaker, tweaker, audio, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1819. Even though this isn't fair, let's look at the other slug. Audio, 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 2000, 2050. Let's see. Now this is a 5,000 watt slug, and this is RMS. Audio, 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 audio. All right. Here's the 2,500 RMS, 5,000, 5,000 RMS. Audio, audio. All right. Now here's the analog peaker, tweaker, 5,000. Each line's 100. Audio, 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 1, 2, 1, 2, audio, 1, 2. So 19, 1950. Audio, 1, 2, 1, 2. And peaker, tweaker, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, all day long. Audio, 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 audio. So there's a good reference to how everything runs. One thing we didn't get to look at up there is the amperage, and I can hook that back up. Audio, 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 audio. So we're pulling like about 120 amps on the big power supply, and this is the voltage I'm running at on that power supply. Audio, 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 15.7. All right, so 15.7 to get me some good numbers here. Audio, 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 audio. 2050 on the peak, you tweak, and And RMS is audio, audio, audio. Oh, 10, 50, right in there. Now, that was an amperage of 1 something. Let's look at this one more time. Audio, audio, audio. So 125, 123, somewhere in there. I'm just going to switch back over to the lower voltage and get a look at that. What I call quick disconnects. Here's your lower voltage. Audio, 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 116 or so. What happened to our peak here, RMS? Audio, audio, audio. Well, she's still gathering and getting it. There's your peaker tweaker, audio, audio, audio. So it did, you know, additional 100, 150 watts peak, more for that extra half to 3/4 of a volt. Big difference there. That little bit of voltage really causes the amplifier to get excited. All right, what you got going on? Molly, what you doing, honey? Huh? Come here. Come on, baby. What's happening? How are you? You been good? Did you have a nice dinner? What do we have for dinner? Huh? You gonna tell me? No. What? Can't hear you. What'd you say? Okay, then what? Really? Uh-huh. You gonna wave to everybody? Say hi. Okay, wave. Molly, give me a wave. All right, there you go. There, you want that? Yeah, that's pretty good stuff. Yeah. So what you been doing? You hurt your foot yesterday? Yeah. Daddy put a hot compress on it for a little bit. You felt better. This morning I told you. I said you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be walking it off. I said just walk it off. And in the morning, you woke up. What'd you do this morning? You walked right out of bed like it never happened, right? Yeah. You're A-okay? You good? All right. So hey, sit, Linda. All right. You sit pretty. You show me like a squirrel. Up here. Come on, pretty girl. There, you're trying. You give me them treats. So, all right, go to your bed and we'll get back to you in a minute. So, hey guys, listen, at the end of it all, I do these videos. And I really enjoy taking the time and building these, and I truly do take my time when I build the amplifiers. I started this other day, and slow and steady, I win the race. So, she's all built, she's done, she's running really good, really happy with it. But the instructions I'm trying to give you guys don't always just apply to just equipment I'm making. This applies to many other types of equipment that you have. So if the equipment was built properly, then coax phase angles are going to matter. Now, are they always going to be the same what I'm predicting here on my bench? 99% of the time they are. You get that 1%, that 2%, that it don't match up because somebody didn't do a portion of the list of things they're supposed to do. So a lot of times you could be missing ground, and that's where it's always at, that ground, that thing that I kept saying at the beginning of the video, ground. If you're missing ground, you're not going to take and get a complete quarter wave or half wave system together properly. You have to take and achieve that ground for the coax lengths to work. Now, if you think about, I just watched this video, and this was a really good one. I'm going to see if I can't find it and post it on my wall. But it talks about a lot of different things, electricity and sine wave, and how the wavelength hits quarter wave, half wave at the peaks, and quarter waves at the middle. So when you take and you get involved into that part of learning, you'll already know what I'm talking about. But if you're trying to understand, why does he have 12 feet of coax going from his radio when the amplifier is right next to it? Why can't you put a 3? Because it's not balanced. It's not a half a wavelength. That's what this is tuned for, a half a wavelength. Just like you have 60 hertz in your wall. You're not going to change it. That's what the electric company will give you, 60 hertz. I'm giving you 50 ohms. And you have to maintain that 50 ohms from here all the way out to your antenna. And if you short yourself with coax, or cut something off wrong, or add an extra however many feet, 3 foot, 9 foot, whatever, that bird's going to tell you what your system needs and what it don't need. if you have a bird. If you don't, I'm sorry, you're going to be lost. I would highly suggest to get one of your friends to come over and help you hook your stuff up if you want to be consistent in DX or consistently not burning your stuff up. So, that said, hey guys, I do a lot of these videos and a lot of them are all the same and I'm preaching the same thing, but at the end, sometimes you may hear something a little bit new that I may discuss in these videos. But at this point, it's about maintaining ground. Really, really good standing wave. The better you can do on your standing wave is the better you're going to finish the race. Now, as far as DX goes, 860 is doing a knockout job up there in Connecticut and doing the broadcast on darn near predicting how the skip is going to drop all day, every day. And he does it 2 or 3 times a day. It takes a lot of time and energy to do what he's doing, and I duly appreciate it. So that said, Molly and me going to get up out of here. We're going to watch a movie. You want to watch a movie? You're hanging out with Brownie again. I see you there with Brownie. I got some really cool pictures. And you're smiling? You're smiling at everybody? Yeah, you're saying hi. I made you a new bone and you already destroyed it. You ate your bone the other night. Yeah? What you think? Okay. Do you want, hey, you want to come out here and say goodbye to everybody? Come here. Come here, Molly. All right, you going to sit? Are you going to wave to everybody? Okay, you going to say bye-bye? Molly, say bye-bye. You have to say it. Say bye-bye. You want this first? Yeah? So what you thinking? You thinking that's good? Thanks, Steve George, for this. She really enjoys it. So you going to talk to him? Uh-huh. Yeah? Okay. So, you're thinking, wait, we got one left. We got one more trick. You're thinking about the kitty cat, but I'm thinking about you doing one more trick. You ready? You're going to sit pretty. Sit all the way up like a squirrel. There you go. Good girl. I'm not even going to throw it to you. I don't even want you to stress trying to get it. Oh, there's a big one there. You really got to sit down there. So, hey, so what you want? You want to go jack with the kitties? Yeah? There's a whole bunch of them out there. Ready? Get them? You ready? Go get them. Kill them. All right, I'm right behind you. All right, guys, well, there you have it. Another 123 South Jersey display of a 2-drive-in-8. Works out really nice. So, again, get fixed dead keys. You guys going to have to make sure that's correct because you start rolling this back, you could become problems for this. So, I would say 1.5 watts is a pretty good storyline to tell you. So, 1.5, 1 3/4 max. There you go. I'm sliding to the left. God bless.